times like this, one could question me and say, but Chevron, is this idea of yours really that grand? It's day 3, and you're having problems. To which I would respond, this is the 6th time in 3 days the frog has visited me. You're probably right. Hi, back for day 3. I'm going to try and make this one shorter than yesterday because editing it was a disaster, and I am now on my 4th attempt at uploading it because I rushed the editing and I made mistakes which I only picked up when I was uploading it to YouTube. So here are the projects that I worked on yesterday. My new start for the day was finally Pokemon All Gens, and I got 100 stitches in, but man, they took almost 2 hours to do those 100 stitches. This is just confetti. There's probably 20 different colors in just those little 100 stitches there, but we got it done. Then I worked on Tinkerbell, and I got all of these 100 stitches in there, so she is starting to look a little bit better. I think I'm going to try to finish off the hair, her bun today. Pandemic was a nightmare because I had frog probably 150 stitches, and then still redo them and do the other 100 stitches. I worked on sword art, and as little as can be believed, I put in 100 stitches, 50 there, and then those 3 rows there, which added up to 50 minus the confetti. So hardly anything at all, but it's still movement. A Peacock's Garden by Linen and Threads, I put in 54 and 54, so tomorrow I should be able to finish the top block, at least the one edge of it. Lighthouse was a problem because I had a frog on it as well, but it was stitching that I did back when I first started it, so I don't feel too bad about it. But I did all of these bright oranges and yellows, and these the grey as well. I think there was more than 100 stitches, but I was enjoying it because it was easy. And I think that's everything. Hopefully I get this up before the end of day 4's vlogging. I was up till 5 AM again. Okay, I think that's everything, so I will see you on day 4. Today we are binging Community, and I've almost finished season 5, and I'll be going on to season 6 soon. It's really weird. It makes me feel like I want to go back to studying. If I could make money just going to school, that would be fantastic, because I love learning. But at the same time, was school really that great? No, didn't have a good time of it. I just really love learning, so online classes would be the best. Anybody know how I can make a living doing online classes? Day 3 for You'll Never Melt again on me. I almost forgot that I actually worked on this. I said I was going to finish off those last 5 threads, or dangling threads, so that I could tidy it all up. And for day 3, I ended up giving myself even more threads to work on for day 4. So that wasn't very clever of me. No. Day 5, Chevron here. I just want to jump on here quickly since I'm behind in the videos anyway to answer a question that I got from Kaylee Rogers. She said, do you find using the small hoops keeps you focused on finishing areas? I already filmed an answer to this and then promptly disproved my answer myself the very next day, so I'm here again to refilm it. Actually, it's a really long story. I think I'm going to need some props, so I'll be right back. So you'd think that the answer to your question would be super simple. The short answer to your question is yes, but it's not, because I use that small hoop for a lot of different reasons. This is the small hoop that she's talking about. It's the world's smallest hoop, as I call it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This little hoop lets me stitch on a 50 by 50 section. I use it when I am color completing so that I can just move that little hoop to different sections of the fabric really easily and not have to windy on the regular hoops and then wind it back up again and pull it tight and stuff. I use it on fabrics that don't maintain their tension in the bigger hoops, if they're not thick enough to be gripped properly in the bigger hoops and they lose their tension, or if it's very tightly woven fabric, so when I'm pulling the thread and the needle through, it pulls the fabric loose, then I'll put it onto the small hoop as well. I also use it to start off on pieces that have very small edges, so if I'm running low on fabric, I won't use a 3-inch extra piece at the edges of my fabric. I'll use like a 2, or in the case of Lighthouse, a 1-inch, although Lighthouse I started when I was stitching in hand still, before my hands gave out. It hurts my hand. So do the bigger hoops. Where are they? Like this pink one that I'm using for Tinkerbell. I hold it at a weird thing as well, and it hurts. I have a genetic condition called Ehlers-Danlos syndrome that was only diagnosed when I was 27. On a DNA level, my collagen isn't produced correctly, and collagen makes up all the soft bits in your body, from how your brain is put together to how your skin, your ligaments, everything. 35 going on 70 internally. So I don't know if you can see the scar there, I've got damage. Now I did teach myself how to stitch two-handed with a regular hoop. I don't have one of those clamp lap stands. I made a plan. Why, Chevron, how do you manage to stitch two-handed on a regular hoop? By doing this. And not that. I actually prefer now stitching with the big hoop. Absolutely my favorite hoop. I've taught myself to stitch two-handed, ambidextrous. Due to injuries that I sustained from helping my husband recover from a motorcycle accident, having to lift him 6 or 7 times a day while he was busy healing. He was 120 kilograms, I'm only 60 kilograms. He was a dead weight, Ehlers-Danlos syndrome. He's fine now. I have injuries in my shoulders now as well, so even with the big hoop, I stitch two-handed, and I've taught myself with my right hand feeding to my left hand, or with my left hand feeding to my right hand. But some of the pieces that I'm trying to finish at the moment are on pieces that don't fit onto this big hoop, and I just couldn't be bothered to sew extra strips on, which I should just do. It would save me a lot of time and pain. But I hope that answers the question, Kaylee. It was really difficult for me to actually explain it in a concise manner.